The kings of England and France strove to outdo each other in graciousness. There was a small chivalric dispute over who should have the important centre chair on the raised dais, with the King of England urging the distinguished seat on Louis IX and Louis demurring in Henry III's favour. The King of France finally acceded to the honour reluctantly, murmuring as he took his place, "Would that everyone could obtain his right uninjured, but the pride of the French would not allow it." It was difficult to believe that the last time these two men had met had been 10 years before, on a battlefield. In fact, this elite gathering represented a triumph of international diplomacy. Out of it would come the first face-to-face civilized conversation between the crowns of England and France. From this point on, until the death of both kings, distrust and uneasy truce would give way to sympathetic cooperation and a sturdy peace. Divisive issues of sovereignty, which had been used as excuses for invasion and armed conflict for over 200 years, would now be settled by equitable negotiation. Neither kingdom would take advantage of civil unrest in the other to gain territory or influence. Indeed, the King and Queen of England would find an ally in the crown of France when it was most needed. The architects of this diplomatic coup were neither ambassadors nor statesmen. No king's counsellor had a hand in it, no great knight nor influential baron. It was managed entirely by one family, a family of 4 sisters who had risen from near obscurity to become the most celebrated and powerful women of their time. Almost nothing of significance that occurred in Western Europe during the period in which they lived was not influenced by the actions of this family. It is impossible to fully understand the underlying political motivations of the 13th century without them. This is the story of 4 queens. Their names were Marguerite, Eleanor, Sanchia, and Beatrice of Provence. "Now will we tell you of the King of France, who was now 20 years of age, and the Queen had a mind that he should marry him, so he took to wife the eldest of the daughters of the Count of Provence, of whom there were 4. And presently King Henry of England took the 2nd, and Count Richard his brother, who is now King of Germany, took the 3rd, and the Count of Anjou, brother to the King of France, took the last, and he had the Countship of Provence. For it is the custom of that country that the last child have all, and there be no male heir." Unnamed Chronicler of Reims, 1260. 4 daughters had Count Raymond Béranger, each one of them a queen, thanks to Romeo, this man of lowly birth, this pilgrim soul. Dante Alighieri, The Divine Comedy, Paradise, Canto 6. Chapter 1. The Land of Song. With my breath I draw toward me the air that I feel coming from Provence. Everything that comes from there rejoices me, so that when I hear good of it, I listen smiling, and for every word demand 100, so much it pleases me when I hear good of it. For no one knows so sweet a country as from the Rhône to Vence, enclosed between the sea and the Durance, and nowhere knows a joy so pure that it shines. Père Vidal, Troubadour, 1180 to 1206. Bordered to the west by the Rhône, to the northeast by the dramatic mountains of Savoie, and to the south by the blue-green waters of the Mediterranean, Provence, with its inviting vineyards, gentle climate, and profusion of sunlight and flowers, embodied the medieval ideal of an exquisite garden. It seems somehow fitting that the story of the 4 sisters who would become the most sought-after women of the 13th century should have as its backdrop so enchanting a setting. Salim Beni de Adam, a Franciscan friar who lived in the archiepiscopal city of Aix-en-Provence, called it a most salubrious place with an abundance of grain. Its principal towns included Avignon and Arles, which bordered the Rhône and serviced the traders and travellers who flowed south with the current, for the river was the favoured route to Marseille, which in turn served as a jumping-off point to the exotic and lucrative ports of Sicily, Cyprus and Constantinople. Like much of the rest of Europe, the county of Provence, governed by a count, as a duchy was governed by a duke and a kingdom by a king, was sparsely populated and agrarian. Large tracts of countryside were still uninhabited, or dotted with small farms, or the occasional chateau. The strongest of these was